everyone. Welcome back to In Session with NatWise. This is your first episode with me, and so today I'm going to talk a little bit about getting curious about who you are in the world. And the reason why I'm going to do this episode first is because this is what I do with my clients when they come into a room. So I'm going to kind of take you through, in a way, a first session with a psychotherapist, the way I do psychotherapy, which will be very different to how other people do psychotherapy. So don't ever judge one therapist by another. We all learn differently, and we often, especially in my circumstance, I come from a background of complex trauma. I have done the work myself. So I am going to give you a lot of tools and practices that I used in order to get me to a healthy enough space that I could share with others how I have healed, and hopefully that will be passed on to someone who will utilize it and live their best life. I'm never going to tell you to change. I'm never going to tell you where you are in life is wrong, that you need to fix yourself. That's nonsense. And I'm going to tell you why, because wherever you are right now is where you're supposed to be. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. So let's just bear with me and roll with that for a little bit. It's really important to get curious about who you are as a person. And in order to do that, we have to sit down and be pretty honest with ourselves. So if you're here today, I'm imagining that maybe there's a curiosity around mental health, or maybe there's a curiosity around your emotional health. And you've thought to yourself, look, I'm just gonna pop my head in and see if there's anything that I can get from use of these videos. Sit down with a pen and paper, and if you don't have a pen and paper, that's okay. You can just keep it in your head, go back to it later. But I want you to write 2 columns, and I want you to write likes and dislikes, and then I want you to list 5 likes, 5 dislikes. So for me, I love dogs, I love my family time, I love being alone, I love books, and I like horses. My dislikes: too much conversation, too many people in one space, small cramped spaces. There's a theme here, isn't there? Sharks scare the hell out of me, and very bad turbulence. I want you to do that, and then I'd like you to also write needs and wants under your likes and dislikes. And if you don't have a pen and paper, it doesn't matter. Think about your needs and wants. Needs and wants are incredibly different, so have a good think about them. We need water. We don't necessarily want water, but we need it. So have a look at things like that. Then I want you to write down your favorite colors, 4. I want you to think about your favorite foods, 4. On a general whole, we don't know ourselves very well. And so when we come up against adverse experiences, or we come against stressful experiences in our lives, we don't know ourselves well enough to be able to make a good choice in how to handle those experiences. Usually we come from a reaction. So when you're put in a stressful situation, if you do not have the foundational tools of knowing who you really are, you are going to react. So that's what I'm trying to do here is get you to understand that in order to know yourself better, you have to get to understand what your likes and dislikes are, what your needs and wants are, what your intentions are in life. Often I have clients that come to me, and we end up here in the first couple of sessions. We end up, how well do you know yourself? What do you like about yourself? What do you like about your life? What do you dislike about your life? And it's actually some of the most fun sessions that I do with my clients, because it's like getting to know a whole new person. And for them, it can be incredibly exciting, and it can be incredibly daunting. Who are you in life? Not what do you do in life, not what do you want to do in life, not how do you make money, not how many material possessions you have. Who are you in life? Who are you? So I like to think of myself as a vessel for imparting information and knowledge onto other human beings about their mental and emotional welfare. Are you content in your life? Are you thriving? Or are you just surviving? And there is a big difference. Survival can often feel like you are on that hamster wheel and you cannot get off, and you're just going round and round and round, and you're repeating the same actions, the same behaviors every day. And at the end of the day, you sit down and you don't really feel like you've achieved a lot and you are exhausted. I would call that surviving. If you're not where you want to be in life, I'd like you to list 3 reasons why you think you aren't there, and 3 things you could do to move yourself there closer. I think it's very important to be honest about your skills and talents. I have a talent in dancing. I don't necessarily have the skills, but I have a talent. And so I need to work on my skills. But also, do I want to be a professional dancer for the rest of my life? No, I don't. So how much am I going to invest there? Do you see what I'm doing? So you make your pie chart up and you start to list your skills and your talents. And then you have a chat to yourself. Is this important in my life? Yes, it is. It's really important. And for me, for example, I pole dance. And if I have a competition coming up, then it might be important for my life for, say, a month. It might be one of my top priorities. So you can juggle and shift your priorities around, but you generally need to always be working towards what your thriving priority is, what your intention in life is, what your driver is. And first and foremost, you have to figure that out. So by doing all the work we're doing today, hopefully you'll come up with a bit of an intention. And when you've found your intention, I'd like you to write it at the top of a journal, and I'd like you to write it and pull it out of your piece of paper and keep it somewhere where you can see it every day. You have to remind yourself of your intentions. If you're unsure of your skills and talents, ask your friend, ask your partner, ask your child if they're old enough to give you a good answer. Ask someone who's close to you. What am I good at? What do you think my positive qualities are? What do you think my strengths and my weaknesses are? Where do you think I could improve in my strengths and my weaknesses, or indeed my life? What do you think I'd be really well suited to? What do you think holds me back? What do you think my weak links are? What is my power? What is my gold? That's really important. We should all know what our gold is. So if you can't figure that out, ask someone. So what this whole episode is attempting to do is to get curious about who you are, understand yourself better, know your likes, your dislikes, your wants, your needs, your skills, your talents. These are very simple things. But understanding them and knowing them fully, that's very important. I had a client and she was a young girl, and she had just started dating, and she didn't know what her likes and dislikes were. So she just started dating, and the person she was dating turned around and said to her, "Would you like to go and see this movie? I've wanted to see it for ages. Do you like action movies?" And she, in her own words, she said to me, "I just said yes, because I wanted to go out with them so badly. I just said yes." I forgot about myself now. I completely went blank. I forgot who I was. So there's a hell of a lot of reasons why we need to get to know ourselves better. Get curious. So why are we doing this work apart from getting to know ourselves? Because when we know ourselves well and we become aware of ourselves, we can then move into accepting areas of our life we might not like, areas of ourself we might not like. And once we've done that and we're accepting of it, then we move into changing it. I don't even want you to think about change right now, especially if you've just hopped on here for the first time ever in anything mental and emotional. Change comes a long way down the track. And as soon as I sit down with my clients, my patients, that's the first thing I tell them. You will probably be seeing me for quite some time. Change is a long process. And if we try, which invariably a lot of my clients will do, they will absolutely become aware and jump straight from awareness to trying to get into acceptance. Well, they dodge that. Straight from awareness to change. That's a surefire route to failure. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And the reason why? Because you don't know yourself. The knowing yourself is in the awareness and the acceptance. I hope this episode has given you a little bit of food for thought. It's not a deep episode. It's not a really intense psychoanalytical episode. but it's definitely a foundation episode. So I really hope that if you didn't watch the whole thing fully, you go back and do the exercises and get to know yourself, get to love yourself, become friends with yourself, take yourself out on a dinner date or to the museum or to the movies. Get uncomfortable with who you are in order for you to get comfortable with who you are. So thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next episode in light and love. Till next time, thank you.